Bonjour YouTube, welcome back with another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the last event, the new fighting event in Genshin that released last week. Similar to the previous event where I made a guide as well, I will explain each stage, give you the best teams possible for first half or second half, what you can do, all the best tips in terms of gameplay for each boss and for the mechanics of the event as well. And yeah, I'll try to make it short, as fast as possible, as clear as possible, and let's get into it. Let's not waste time. First, I will give you global tips on this event. The main thing that you need to know is that you can use food in this fighting event. So like if you start the fight here, you can use your food just like the previous one where it was pretty difficult as well. So make sure you use some food. If you don't have like crazy builds or crazy character or the right characters for each day, using food will help you a lot. Damage potions, elemental damage potions combined with, I don't have it here, but Adeptus Temptation or any food that gives attack and crit is going to be really good. Or even you can just go like crit rate, food. This one also gives crit damage sometimes if you do it with Diluc or something. So yeah. So each stage has two halves. First half is going to be more of a mechanic challenge where you have to do destroy the shield or elemental burst or freeze the enemies or something like that. So here the damage doesn't really matter as long as you can complete the objectives. For example, in this one you need to freeze enemies a certain amount of times. So once you complete that, even if you didn't kill any enemies, it's gonna be correct. Same here, as long as you kill the shield. Here you have to kill the enemies because you have to destroy the shield, and they only get the shield. Those mages here only get the shield when they spawn, so you'll have to kill the enemies, but in most cases it doesn't even matter. And then finally, this event also gives you trial characters. So you can see here they give you Chaska and Mizuki. The builds are pretty shit, but in some cases it's enough, especially if you add the food and you have a decent supports to go with from your account. Let's begin with the first day. So first half of the first day, you need to swirl the shields. So as I just explained, get Pyro, get Electro, get Mizuki from the trial, and then you can add Sucrose last to get even more swirls. And this team here works really good. I'll put Sucrose instead just to make it, just to not put Kazuha. But yeah, you can put Fischl or anything first half, any Electro here, and any Pyro here. Can be Toma even, can be really anything. It's really not too complicated. And then Mizuki and Sucrose will swirl more than enough. Now on the second half, Chaska is really good, of course. The trial Chaska is not insane, but if you have Bennett, Furina, and then last one can be Oron, or it can be Silali or something like that, you're gonna be pretty chill. I will show you a run with the trial characters every time, and then you'll see that it's not really that bad. Here I will use, unfortunately I will have to use the Furina, even though my Furina has Constellation. You'll see that even with C0 Furina, as long as you have food and stuff, it's gonna be more than enough. I'll show you the builds for the trial real quick. So Mizuki doesn't really matter, she had ZM. The Chaska, you can see, not insane. She's using her signature, but it's level 80. Her crit rate is really low, even with Obsidian. Like, I mean, it's easy to get more than that. Talent's level 8, C0. So, and crit damage is pretty low. So it's not insane, but it's going to do the job. Let's go. So yeah, as you can see, first half, you just apply your element, do everything, swirl with Sucrose, Mizuki, and then it's basically it, honestly. It goes a little bit crazy because there's a lot of things swirling. But you can kill them with Mawika if they're not dead. Pyro can take care of both shields, which is pretty nice. And then yeah, Mizuki can basically just like destroy them, honestly. Like it's pretty free. Sucrose. Boom. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like you don't really have to do anything here. You just spam everything you have. Use a trial, and then GG. That was a little bit slow here, maybe, but... Alright. Now, second half, basically the challenge is to kill 900 HP bars of the boss to get all the rewards. You don't have any name cards or anything, so if you don't worry about the 30k Mora and weapon XP that you get for the 900 bars, it's really not It's really not that complicated, honestly. But yeah, if you're only worried about the primos, it's really easy. But if you really want to max out the points to get all the rewards, that's why I'm making this video, basically. But it's not as hard as the previous event. One issue with this event is that you start with no energy, so you need to make sure you have enough energy on your characters. It can be a little bit of a problem sometimes. So don't hesitate to bring some Favonius weapons on your characters to be able to get the energy back, because it's really cringe that we start with no energy. My Silali is not even on scroll because I forgot to switch her set, so I'm losing a lot of damage here. This is the Trial Chaska, okay? This is the Trial Chaska. We're still doing pretty good damage. My Farina is C3, so she has a lot of damage by herself. She probably carries a little bit. And then for this boss, you want to charge shot, boom. And that's basically it, honestly. And then with Chaska, there's no real crazy gameplay with Chaska. It's not really complicated, let's be honest. You just spam everything. I kind of wasted Bennett Burst a little bit, but... Actually, I might be a bit short. Let's see. Ooh, that might be a bit close. But you can see, like, if I use food... if my Silali is on... If my Silali was on scroll as well, we would have so much more damage. So... Oh, yeah. But you get the thing. The Farina was kind of strong, but I was lacking energy on Bennett, so I couldn't do the rotation properly. I was lacking energy on Farina, so it took me a long time to get her burst back. Didn't have scroll on Silali, so we're losing a lot of DPS even if the Farina was broken, and we didn't have food. So if you combine all these factors, it was pretty chill run. I didn't really do anything crazy. And also, you gotta take into account the buffs from each stage. So here, usually the trial characters will match the buffs. So here, every time you trigger specific elemental damage, you will create a shockwave every 3 seconds. So that's why Chaska is also pretty good, because she has all the elements. And also you gain 80% attack when you use those elements. So a lot of different teams can work here. Other than the Chaska team, if you have your own Chaska, it's even better, of course, but you can use the trial one with this specific team or a similar team. You can use Shenhe instead of Silali. Hutao double Hydro with Farina, Yelan, and then you can use Kazuha or Xianyun or Zhongli on the last slot. Works pretty good. So Hutao, Yelan, Farina, and then Shironen or Xianyun for some healing. Even if you don't have healing, you can use Zhongli, you can use Kazuha. It works pretty good. Any big damage team, honestly, the first stage is probably the easiest. So Mawika on the second half is going to work very good. Overload, Arlecchino, Vape, Arlecchino, Vape, Overload, Mawika. First stage is probably the easiest, honestly. Chlorand, Aggravate. Clone Aggravate can work pretty well as well. So yeah, you got a lot of options. You can even do it with 4 stars only. I managed to do it with this team. All the 4 stars are C6, so gotta keep that in mind. But I managed to do it without food. I was at 850 with no food with this team. So if you got the food and stuff, it's also doable with 4 stars only. Now stage 2. Here, Vaporize and Melt will be much stronger. You gain. So you deal true damage after you vape or melt on the enemy, plus when you trigger vape or melt, vaporize or melt, all your crit rate will be increased by 15% and crit damage increased by 35% up to 3 stacks. So you can gain 45% crit rate and 105 crit damage, which is massive. And on the first half, you need to use as many elemental bursts as possible. So basically just get a lot of energy, spam your burst, and anything can work first half. So don't use characters that could be useful on the second half, of course, that you would want to use on your second team. But yeah, first half, anything works, just spam your burst. I'm not going to show it too much. And then on the second half, personally, I managed to clear it 4 stars only with National, the good old National, add some food, get some good energy, and this team works just fine, honestly. But I will show it to you with the trial characters as well. So here, Mawika, once again, this event, Mawika is going to shine as well. But yeah, you got Raiden for the first half if you need some burst and energy. And then they give you Silali as trial for second half. So here, if you got Mawika, if you got Arlecchino, you can use them with Melt, with Silali. So you can do like Bennett, Silali, and then last slot can be an Nemo character, can be Shironen, can be Zhongli, can be pretty much anything. And let's do my C0 Mawika with the trial Silali. So C0 Mawika, Bennett, Silali, and then let's do Sucrose or let's do Kachina. In this stage, you really want Pyro against this boss to be able to break the bowls that he's gonna spit. And then yeah, the Silali has good energy, so we're gonna be able to have pretty consistent melts and burst activation. So here we break the bowls. We spin with Mawika, 100k. C0R1 Mawika, she's double crown or one crown at least. And then yeah, we repeat the rotation. You can go a bit behind the boss. It's gonna make it waste a bit of time compared to if you just stay behind in front of him, because he has to turn around before he spins. So you can win a few seconds before the spin. And then yeah, make sure you funnel into Bennett. I put Bennett on Fab here because I was lacking energy. And yeah, having enough energy is really important in this stage, honestly. Because since you start without burst at the start, like you gain a lot of time if you get your burst back early. Boom. And then yeah, we're on track. 1.2 million. Not bad, not bad. I'm not even melting my charge attacks here. I'm not really using like perfect gameplay, but and also I am not using food. All right, I'm not using food. Everyone is Kachina, so I'm really trying to not use like crazy teams. I'm not melting here, I think. Yeah, I misplayed. 1.2 million. And pretty chill. Pretty chill, honestly. So if you use food here, it's even easier, so yeah. Now, as I said earlier, you can also do it with 4 stars only. It's a bit harder. You need a lot of investment on your 4 stars. I did it with normal national, Sucrose, Bennett, Chengling, Xingqiu, with food, I think, or even without food, but I was really close without the food, so it is really doable. Hutao double hydro once again works pretty good. Farina, Yelan, and then you can do Kazuha, Xianyun, Shilonen, something like that. Works pretty good. Arlecchino Vape is going to be pretty good. Arlecchino Melt is going to be pretty good. You can do Mwalani. Mwalani is going to be very nice as well. If you have a decent Mwalani, you can do Mwalani with like Shengling or Mawika to break the bowls and have the pyro and do the reaction. It works pretty well. And even Ganyu Melt actually works pretty well against this boss. So I managed to do it with Ganyu Melt. Okay, this Ganyu I think is C1, but it's not a massive difference. And yeah, Ganyu, Bennett, Shengling, Shenhe, or Bennett, or Mawika, Bennett, Shenhe, or Mawika, Shenhe, Kazuha, something like that. Like any Melt Ganyu setup can work pretty well. So Bennett, Mawika, Kazuha, I think is the team that I use, Bennett, Mawika, Kazuha, so or Zhongli. So yeah, Melt Ganyu works pretty well. Melt Risley works pretty well. Like any team that can take advantage from the buff is gonna work pretty decently well. Now, stage 3. In this stage, every time you do Burning, Overload, or Burgeon, you will deal true damage every 3 seconds. So a bit extra damage with this. When you deal damage, it will also reduce the enemy's defense by 60%. So that's pretty good. I mean, when the current on-field character deals elemental damage, so basically anyone. So the first 2 buffs, most characters will be able to use it. And then the third buff, when you trigger Burning, Overload, or Burgeon, all your team attack will increase by 50%, up to 3 times. So up to 150% attack, pretty good. For the first half, They give you Xianyun a little bit for some healing, and so you can keep your HP above 80%, 85% to fill in the objective gauge. So just bring some healers. Honestly, on the first half, just bring all the healers that you can. Keep your HP up as much as possible. And then it's gonna be free. And then for second half, we got the new lava dragon statue. So on this one, you want some pyro. Of course, the buff of the thing of the stage buffs characters that do burning, overload, or burgeon. So you will want some pyro. Bennett Changling, Mawika, Alekino, all these will work pretty well. You can use the kinich from the trial. I'm struggling a little bit with the kinich from the trial, but with food, and if you have another dendro, like if you have Emily, or if you bring Nahida or something like that, or even you could bring like Oron or something like that, could be fine. But yeah, the trial kinich, the crit rate is really bad. Like the crit rate is really bad. How shut up. The crit rate is really, really bad. Once again, Mawika is gonna work great. Alekino is gonna work great. You can do, yeah, Overload Team is gonna be fine. I managed to do it with National as well. So if you have Overload Team, Bennett, Shengling, Fischl, Chevreuse, honestly, even without C6 Chevreuse, if you use some food, it seems pretty straightforward. Like here, I'm not using food. It is really, really fast. You get so much buff. The Overload buff is really nice. So yeah, it is pretty fast, honestly. I haven't been using food at all in any of these showcases, and it's been working pretty well. Of course, I have C6 everyone here, but even then, like, it's not even close. It's not even close. So here we go, 900. Pretty fast, pretty fast. So Alekino Overload, Raiden Overload, Mawika Overload can work too, probably. Got a decent amount of options. And yeah, almost 1,000. Almost 1,000. Oh, we did 1,000. Let's go. So yeah, you got a lot of options on this one. If your kinich is good, of course, use kinich by any means. And then otherwise, any Overload team, Clohan Overload can work as well. Line Overload, maybe. And that's it for the day 3. Now, for day 4, the buffs are for plunging characters. So when you plunge attack, you will deal true damage. And when you plunge attack, your plunge attack will deal extra damage. Increased by 1,200% of the character's attack. So if you have Shao, if you have Varesa, if you have Xianyun to make any character plunge, it's going to be pretty nice. You get a lot of attack as well from the second buff. So yeah, first half, just bring double Hydro, double Cryo, anything. Really anything for the first half works. Here I did Ganyu, Silali, Kokomi, Yato, but really any Cryo, any Hydro works. Just one double of each, 2 of each, so you can freeze consistently. And yeah, you don't even need to kill the enemies, so the damage doesn't matter. Even if you have a level 1 Barbara or a level 1 Layla or whatever, or Charlotte, and you don't have any other Cryo, just bring those. And it's gonna be free. Charlotte, Kaya, or Barbara, Kaya, Chongyun, whatever. Anything can work. And then for the second half, they give you Silali as well, trial. So for the second half, the Varesa trial is actually pretty solid. I mean, she does the job, honestly. So you can definitely use the Varesa trial. If you have her best team, it's great. So her best team at the moment, most consistent team is going to be Mawika, Yansan, and Chevreuse. If you have this team, great. If you don't have this team, you can still use Varesa, I would say, and remove... you can't remove anything really crazy. Like, if you don't have Mawika, you can put Shangling instead, for example, to have a bit more damage. Or you can put the Pyro Traveler. You kind of want an off-field Pyro in Overload teams to keep proccing the Chevreuse buff. You want to Overload consistently. So, yeah, but if you have this team, everyone C0 here. I mean, Varesa and... Mawika are C0 here, Yansan C2 and Chevreuse C6, and this team is going to work really good. Even the Varesa trial can deal very, very good damage with this team. As usual, you start with no energy, so try to funnel as much as you can. Oh, misplayed. Boom. Try to funnel into your Jansen as well. And then I can start dealing a bit of damage. See, 250 already. It's not too bad. No food once again. I'm not using food. And then... yeah, the buff is insane. 30k. 400 almost. And we're already at 200 HP bars. Pretty fast. With my Varisa C0, I was doing like almost 1 million. It was kind of crazy actually. Almost 1 million. That was insane. And yeah, I mean, we're at 700. We still have 50 seconds. No food used. Yeah. Oh, you didn't see that. You did not see that. Boom. And goodbye. Yeah, we get 4,000 attack, 3.3k. Oh my god, that's a lot of attack. So yeah, that's basically it for the stage. Just use the Varisa, honestly, the trial Varisa. She's really, really good. I mean, she's really, really good. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. She's okay. Her crit ratio is terrible, but she gets a lot of attack. Okay. Okay, let's not talk about that, but like, she's using the new set, 888. With the buff on the plunge, like, she's gonna deal good damage. Whatever happens, she's gonna deal good damage, and at least you get good crit rate, so it's fine. If you don't want to use the Varisa, you can use Shao if you have his premium team, or even if not, you can still do it, like with Bennett, Farina, Faruzan, or Bennett, Faruzan, Zhongli, or something like that. He's gonna do just fine. And then after that, Mawika's damage is going to be enough to take care of that guy. Alekino, Vape, or Overload should be also decent. But realistically, just use the Varisa. Just use the Varisa and you'll have enough damage, especially if you use food. Now, for the day 5. It's time for true and real Mawika shilling. In this one, every time you use Night Soul Burst, you deal true damage, and every time, and the Night Soul Burst damage is reduced by, the Night Soul Burst cooldown is reduced by 50% of the original duration, and on top of that, when you trigger Night Soul Burst, you will get 90% damage increase for 10 seconds, and 30% crit rate, and 60% crit damage. Plus, you will also restore some elemental energy, and Mawika restores 60%, 60 points of fighting spirit, so it is freaking insane. Absolute Nalan stage, like, if you have Nalan characters, Silali, Shilo, Mawika, like, it's literally free. If you don't have Mawika, good thing, they give you a trial Mawika, so that's pretty cool. Same, they give you a trials Mwalani, so, hey, let's take this. For the first stage, you just need to trigger Night Soul Burst as many times as possible. So just bring a ton of Pyro, a ton of Nadlan characters, whoever it is. Like they give you Mawika. I mean, usually the first character is for the first half, the second is second half. But here, I would probably save the Mawika for the second half. But yeah, just bring Kachina, Pyro Traveler, Oron, whatever you have that can trigger Night Soul Burst, and just spam everything. And then for the second stage, yeah, you can use the Trial Mawika. She's really not... She's like the Kinage, so her crit rate is really low, but with the buff, you basically almost at 100% crit rate, so it's not that big of a deal. But she's using a sheer weapon. So yeah, it's not crazy. She doesn't have a ton of EM, but she can still do the job. You bring some food. With this team, I was almost able to clear without food, so with food, it's free. And otherwise, yeah, Chaska works fine, Varisa works fine, Mwalani works good as well. The trial Mwalani is pretty bad as well. Yeah, the trial Melanie is like okay. I mean, you get 100% crit rate basically, but her EM is really low and her crit damage is pretty low, even for non-signature weapon. Also, R1 craftable with level 80, so like you're losing so much damage compared to the average Melanie. It's actually absurd. The fact that they put the weapon level 80 is kind of cringe. Like I don't understand why they don't put them level 90. But anyways, so yeah, trial they can work fine. Honestly, make sure you use some food. And then, yeah, Bennett, Silali, Kachina, or you can do Alekino with Silali as well. You can use Chaska, you can use Mwalani, and you can use Baresa. You really want some Nalan characters though, and preferably Nalan DPS, because the DPS check is pretty high. I also managed to do it with Navia. Actually, very, very nice team for this one. With all the buffs, like it's pretty cool. Navia, Bennett, Shengling, and Shilonen, I did pretty easily. If you bring some food, it's going to be even better. So yeah, this team works great. Because you don't need every character to be Natlan. You get the buff whatever type of character you are, as long as you have at least one Nalan character that trigger Night Soul Burst, you will get all the crit buffs. So Navia is gonna get the buff still, and yeah, same if you use Alekino or stuff like that. The only difference is that you're not gonna be able to benefit from the elemental energy back for Mawika, for example, if you don't use Mawika, or the cooldown reduction on the Night Soul Bursts. But otherwise, yeah, a lot of different teams can work pretty well. And so you can see, Mawika team. Yeah, it goes pretty fast. It goes pretty fast. I barely did anything. We do 2 million per burst. Everyone is C0 here. Okay, except Mawika, except Shironen. But yeah, not using food. It goes pretty fast. Now, if for any reason you don't have Kachina in your team for this boss, or you don't have anyone that can climb the pillars properly, remember that there are a strat to climb the pillars here, okay? You go on this side with Bennett or a short character, and you can climb this mini thing here on the left side of the boss, and you can climb and get to the things to break the pillars. It's a little bit hard with tall characters, so I would recommend using Bennett or a smaller character, but you can do it on the other side as well. And remember as well that this boss mechanic is very specific. You need to be in the Night Soul state to fill the gauge at the top right of the HP bar. So like here, if I use Silali and I start spending some Night Soul points, you see the bar fills up slowly, and then once the bar is filled up, it will spawn the pillars. So if you want to make it faster, you'd rather use that as well for the boss to be able to spawn the pillars. But as I said earlier, I use Hutao Double Hydra with just Shironen, and Shironen is usually not enough to spawn the pillars by herself, and it was still fine. Here, I think it's on, I don't remember which side it is, but I think it's this one. No, there's one side for the tall characters as well. You can find videos on YouTube for the tall character as well, but shorter character is easier to do. So that's the one I will show you. And yeah, that's basically it for day 5, honestly. I think I gave you most of my tips for every stage. And once again, like if you have constellations on some characters, they can potentially work in any of the stages as well, and I didn't necessarily mention them. But and also, once again, if you're just looking for the primo reward, it's like for the primo gems reward, it's really like you just need to pinch the boss and you get the primo gems. So I'm just making this video to give you a few tips if you want to get 900 HP bars. But realistically, for the primo rewards, like you just do one ability on the boss and you get 40 HP bar. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, even at AR 40 or something, you can easily get all the primos. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this guide. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Next one is probably going to be about Venti and Shilonen, give you my opinions on what you should do with those banners. If Venti is worth pulling, spoilers, probably not. And if Shilonen is still very good in the meta or not. She's still very good, but we're going to talk about it a bit more in details in the next video, and also Abyss guide later this week with the new Abyss release. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.